I am very excited to introduce you to one of our new experts, Katie Lowndes, from Katie's Beauty Kitchen, which is your professional coaching service. And Katie, we've actually had a lot of requests to have life coaching on the site. So to appoint you as our resident life coach is pretty exciting. Welcome to Rescue.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and it's so important these days. It's nice that people are starting to kind of recognize that this profession's there, and that there is help out there to help yourselves, basically.
So we've worked with a lot of therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists on the site before. Can you explain to us, the difference between a life coach and possibly a life or a business coach versus, say, therapy or a psychologist or a fitness coach?
Well, so let's take counselling in psychology, for example. When you go and see someone like that, you're probably really looking at processing something that's maybe happened in the past. Maybe there's something that you're dealing with that is going to need a psychologist. Coaching is very different, because what we're doing is we're looking at where you want to go.
Yes.
And how you want to get there. So it's very much future focused. It's not about analysing the past or that type of thing. We're not going into that side of things. It's more of a positive way forward, and all we're doing is help draw out information and answers that you already have inside of you, and we're just kind of unraveling them all because they're all tangled up in a knot at the moment. So it's quite an exciting sort of uplifting way of looking at the future.
I love it, and I think it just fits with the rescue philosophy so well, and our tagline, be your own success story. And to be able to tease out your own wisdom and to tease out your own experience and to give it a framework for your future self is a really empowering and actually exciting low cost investment in the future. One of the things I love that you talk about is the monkey mind. And a lot of people who teach meditation talk about the monkey mind, but I'd love for you to share with us, because you'll be referring to it and giving us techniques to kind of harness and control the monkey mind. What is the monkey mind?
I mean, there's many different ways of people talking about it. So some of you may have heard it called the ego. I call it the monkey mind, and I think that stems from a Buddhist background. But it's very much that voice in your head that is talking at you incessantly. It's that thought that comes up that's maybe not treating you as you would treat others. It's that you can't do that, you can't be this, why are you even thinking that? Or that thing that just pulls you down. And sometimes it's very difficult to switch off the mind, and often it's that keeps you awake at night. It's waking you up in the morning saying, oh, really, another day, can't be bothered to get out of bed. That's that whole negative pulling you down. So I think the first thing is obviously being aware of what that is, and that's the first step for anything. It's awareness that this is actually happening. And as soon as you're aware that the monkey's there, you kind of start to be able to watch it and kind of go, oh my God, it's happening again, just shut up. And you can have this kind of conversation with it. So when I talk about the monkey mind, it's just recognizing that it's there, understanding it, and then obviously looking at tools to help you deal with that and move forward from it.
And in terms of labeling things, the other tool that you reference quite well, and we're going to share in the article, in the first article you've written for us, which is all about self-love, is the emotion wheel. And to me, that was like, wow, what a beautiful visual representation of being able to, as you said, if you can label it, you can deal with it. So can you tell us more about what this wheel is all about?
Yeah, of course. So the wheel was created, I think it was 1980s in America, and it's kind of been adjusted here and there. Some people have 5 segments, some have 6, and I use the 8 segments. And basically, each of the segments will make up your life. So it's imagine it's like a pie. So in that pie, you've got, say, 8 slices. One of those slices is your spirituality, one of them is your financial part, one is your occupation, your physical. So all of these different parts will make up your overall wellness and how happy and healthy you are. And it's amazing how one actually impacts all of the others. So, for example, it could be occupation that could be the one that's a real problem. But then your occupation, actually, that's impacted your finance because you're not getting paid enough for what you're worth. Maybe the people there and the culture doesn't fit right socially. So maybe that's why your social part's down. So they all have a big impact on each other. And often it's just that one section that you just need to make the changes in. And suddenly this whole wheel becomes abundant and happy. So what we try and do is identify where you might be not as high as you would like to be, and then we kind of work on each section so that you're well in every area.
So one of the steps that you're going to teach us is how to ask some meaningful questions around the wheel. Can you just kind of guide us, like if a client came to you for the first time, what are some of the questions that you get them to ask themselves to start the process of self-discovery?
The first thing I do is actually use this cute little quiz that I came up with, and actually you just sit and go around each section and go, actually, from a scale of 1 to 10, how happy do I feel at the moment in this area? And if someone's, say, between 0 and 4, that to me is like a flag, like a red flag. Okay, that's a key area that we need to start focusing on. And then if you go, say, 5 up to 6, 7, that means it's okay, but definitely needs a bit of work. And then 7, 8 and above, it means it's pretty good. Obviously, there's always room for improvement. And if you're at that higher stage, you want to maintain that. But we would definitely start by a general, how are you feeling in each of these key areas? And then, with coaching, it's all about questions, and to start with, it's, what brings you here today? And then it's amazing what tangents you come off with, because a client could come in and say, I'm thinking about maybe going back to study. And then the next minute, an hour down the track, it's actually not what they want at all. They've actually said it's all come out. And they're actually, I want to have my own business. I want to run this thing, and this is what it looks like. And you're like, oh, right, okay. So it's amazing why just speaking what's in there, how more stuff comes out, and then more stuff comes out, because we just kind of bury it all down and get it all mixed up.
So the first article you've written for us is around the concept of self-love, and exactly like you were saying, you're asking us to kind of assess our self-love meter and ask some questions. There's some things that you can guide us with. Some people like to connect via video first before they read the article. Can you share some of the highlights of that self-love audit that you recommend we do, particularly during this crazy old time?
Yes, let me just bring up, I've got it right here, because I'm just, with the self-love, it was really about kind of looking at how you're actually talking to yourself. And that is one of the monkey mind things. How are you treating yourself at the moment? Are there things in your life that you're doing that don't bring you joy? Whenever you're doing something, sit and ask yourself that question. And one of the things you really need to do is actually slow down. And I would say start to listen to that gut feeling and listen to that intuition. And you can only do that by slowing down. And that's coming from someone who is renowned at rushing. My school report was Katie rushes, and still the same now. But you have to slow down, because it's only then you can actually listen to yourself. And someone might say, oh, can you do this? And your automatic thing goes, oh, and then you just go, yeah, okay. And then down the track, you're sitting and you're thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Why did I do that? So I think the first thing with self-love is slow down. When doing things, ask if it's necessary. Ask if it's something that brings you joy. And ask if it's not necessary, can you eliminate it? So, and that goes in everyday life. And I think one of the first things I probably said to do in the article was to actually sit and do an audit of your day, you know, from when you wake up and go to bed, what's happening in that day? Is there anything there that is bringing you stress or unhappiness? And it can be the simplest of things, like going to the kitchen cabinet and maybe the door handle's broken. Now that might seem like something little, but if you add all of those annoying things up in a whole day, it can actually amount to quite a lot of stress. So I think eliminate all of the micro stresses, clear your space, clear your house, get rid of the junk, get rid of stuff you don't need anymore, get rid of anything broken, stressful, untidy, because your home is your sanctuary. And at the minute, I'm very much about trying to live the retreat life at home every day. How can you incorporate that in? And part of that is just having that space around you so that you can be quiet, be still, be calm, and love yourself.
I love that. I actually have a personal example of that. One of the greatest stresses in my day-to-day came from keys in my handbag and bibs and bobs in my handbag, because I would always carry basically a mini suitcase everywhere. And then I am a fast-paced person. And so I would be going from situation to situation, needing to access my phone, my keys, a hairband, a lipstick, whatever. And this big suitcase would always be like the Bermuda Triangle of things. So I've simplified my life, and I think honestly bought myself 10 years of like anti-aging by carrying around the tiniest little handbag. And it's got a pocket on the inside and a flap on the front, and it opens in a flap, and everything I need is there and nothing can get lost. And it's really changed my life. A small
It really does.
micro stressor.
Yeah, and it's amazing because if you think about it, if things don't have a place as well, like every day, like, oh, where's this, where's this, where's this? Well, if you always know that your keys are in that place, then they're always going to be in that place. And it's amazing how I don't know, I used to have all these things like, you know, like ornaments, and you know, it's not that I have no, you know, I have a big crystal thing and the odd thing picture, but at one point I think there's pictures everywhere and just things, and of course they just collect dust. It's just more to clean, and then it just looks cluttered. And since the day I kind of just went no more, I just felt lighter and I don't know, freer.
Absolutely. Well, I'm super excited to bring all of your expert advice and coaching practices to the reader. It was wonderful to be able to introduce you today to everyone, and I can't wait to get some feedback on our readers implementing your advice.
Oh, thank you. I'm just very excited to be part of it, and yeah, can't wait to take this journey with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to
thank you.
Stop.